Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I am a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today's topic is twin flames. The divine feminine has gained their wings and now it's time to learn how to fly. I'm running across a lot of divine feminine this week that has been facing the pit of themselves and realizing it's that they've gained their wings and being afraid to fly, or not realizing that they're no longer grounded, that it is time to fly. And I'd like to commend all of you divine feminine. And I don't even want to leave out just the divine feminine, the divine masculine here as well, especially having embraced that divine feminine within themselves and stepping up and being more assertive and speaking more of their truth and becoming more awakened. That is also connecting to their inner divine power and their inner divine empowerment. And so I also want to acknowledge you. And with that being said, if, in this series, I'm going to talk a lot about she gains her wings and, to fly, but I also will be in referencing a dear cousin of mine that has gained her wings this week and has passed this week at a far too young age, at 36 years old. And she's gained her wings and she's been some of the inspiration for this topic. But with that being said, as I say she, I want you to know that I'm talking about everyone, including the divine masculine. So I don't want you to feel left out here because this message pertains to everyone, okay? We are here to create personal empowerment. We're here to create the divine power within, to know and experience everything we came here to learn and experience, and to do it with ease and grace, and to do it in an aspect that we live a life of no regrets, and that we get to write our own love song, and that we get to it is time to just really shift into the confidence and the empowerment and the bravery. And this is the key here, folks, the bravery. Because what I'm running against with these clients this week is that the taking that leap of faith and going in blind faith and trusting this process of this twin flame journey, and really in just all aspects of life, that not even just the twin flame journey, which does coexist around our life because we chose these commitments. So I want to commend you for and acknowledge you and acknowledge all of the twin flames that made the commitment to find themselves, that made the commitment to activate their highest potential and gain their greatest gifts, and to come here during this lifetime to experience everything that there is within your divinity that you signed up for. And it's like Christopher Columbus set sail in the dark, and he didn't know he was going to land on, find a discovered land, but he knew something was out there, and he followed his gut and he followed his intuition. And sure, that had to be scary, but he faced his fears. And because of that, look, we are here. We are the future that is in alignment with Christopher Columbus's bravery. We as twin flames signed up for the same bravery to set the path of the future. And we're here to do that. And we're here in the process to face our fears so we can release the bondage of our past. And then we get to create personal freedom and unleash that bondage so that we can experience the unlimited potential of our destiny. So this is what the message is about today, and I want to show you 3 ways and discuss 3 ways that you can get in alignment with your own personal freedom, so that you can take your own leap of faith, and that you can realize that it's time to fly, and that that you can fly forward. And those 3 things are to be brave, be bold, and be beautiful. You, be beautiful. So, I just want to share then how this came about, because I'm reliving a 20-year cycle on multiple levels of my life. But this month in October marks a very defining moment for me. 20 years ago, my uncle and my cousin were killed in a plane crash, and they taught me the biggest lesson of my life and my own spiritual awakening to live a life of no regrets. Now I'm taking a refresher from my cousin. Her name is Amber, Angel Amber. She's teaching me a refresher. She's teaching me to step out into bravery, to become more bold, to be more beautiful so that I can live my destiny. And my destiny is, a portion of my destiny is to teach you to do the same thing. And that's why I show up. That's why I walk this walk, to talk this talk, and experience things of going through my own transformation, my own pit of hell, and my own, experiences to connect with things that I can bring to the table as this to share with you. So I want to share with you just a little bit about Amber first. And Amber, growing up, Amber had a very simple life. Her mother and father separated before they knew that the mother was pregnant. So Amber, as coming into this life, basically came into her life of divorced parents that had gotten divorced through the separation of, before finding out she was pregnant. So there was always some sense of abandonment there. And, in addition to that, as she grew up, I watched Amber. Amber is only a couple of years older than my daughter. Amber, in some ways, has felt like, I've been her aunt, even though I've really been her cousin based on the dynamics of our relationship. And she has always been this dreamer. Like, she was always into glitz and glamour and style. And the thing about Amber, though, is she did lack some courageous confidence. She didn't feel good enough about certain aspects of her life. And so, throughout her journey at a young age, she had children at a young age, and she leaves behind 2 young teenage children. And the thing about Amber, though, is she had a couple very big significant aspects of she idoled, and her idol was Marilyn Monroe. I didn't really understand that the whole life. I mean, she had a whole museum of Marilyn Monroe. And, since her passing and coming up to this, I did a little research on Marilyn Monroe and the connection Amber had with Marilyn Monroe, and it was very miraculous. I mean, Marilyn was all about teaching women to speak their truth, to be beautiful, to be who you are, and to be worthy of love. And that if somebody didn't value you for who you were, then they weren't worthy of your love. I want to share with you, I did print off a quote from Marilyn I want to share with you. And it says, "This life is what you make it. No matter what, you're going to mess up sometimes. It's a universal truth. But the good part is that you get to decide how you're going to mess it up. Girls will be your friends. They'll act like it anyway. But just remember, some come and some go. The ones that stay and help you go through everything, they're your true best friends. Don't let go of them. Also remember that sisters make the best of friends in the world. As for lovers, well, they'll come and go too. And baby, I hate to say it, most of them, actually pretty much all of them, are going to break your heart. But you can't give up, because If you give up, you will never find your soulmate. You'll never find the other half of you that makes you whole and that goes for everything. Just because you fail once doesn't mean you're going to fail at everything. Keep trying, hold on, and always, always, always believe in yourself. Because if you don't, then who will, sweetie? So keep your head high, keep your chin up, and most importantly, keep smiling, because life's a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. Marilyn Monroe, the words of Marilyn Monroe. So, powerful words from a legendary icon that my cousin and her connection with her connected to the same message as her. And so today I'm sharing forward Marilyn's message through Amber's message and keeping that a legacy for us to follow as we step into our true authentic self, our true divine feminine side, becoming the goddesses, letting go of the final layers and the final pieces of what has been holding us back from being able to fly. And then that's where these final pieces are within this being brave, being bold, and being beautiful. And so I'm going to share with you then and break those down each one at a time. So being brave, you know, that is facing our fears. You know, the only thing about fear itself is the fear of the unknown. Is the fear is really just a false event appearing real. It's an illusion. If we let it, it becomes an obstacle that prevents us from connecting to our greatest potential, right? We can't allow that. We have to create the personal empowerment. And we only can do that by trusting ourselves. And if we can't trust us, how can we trust anything around us? Trust the twin flame journey, trust our mission, trust our purpose, trust other people, trust our, you know, anything that's coming towards us. So in this journey, and this is what I've had more than one client this came through for this week. You know, we're being asked here in this bravery to step up and step into our authentic self and fly. And that freedom, that creates freedom. That is personal freedom unleashed. That's breaking the bondage of all the past, all the illusions, all of the karma. And see, sweetie, this has already happened, but we don't realize it. It's like our wings are not been clipped anymore. We've healed the wings and the wings have come out and it's just ready to go. But you don't see it. You don't even know you can fly and you're too afraid to test it by jumping out of the tree. So I talk about the ascension process as going up the tree. And then from there, that helps us come into our radiance, our full power, our full connectivity to our higher self. But in that, we have to expand. And then the expansion is spreading our wings and flying. And so what happens in that process as you go out on a limb and you start creeping out, the fear creeps in. And as the fear creeps in, then you know, start going into your old patterns again and you start doing the roller coaster and you start hitting the plateaus and you start hitting walls, but you're not going back down the tree. You can't. The only way down the tree is to jump out the limb. And so your guidances came through to connect to you, to bring in this inner higher divine energy for you to connect to the greatest potential yourself and to connect with source and to connect with your guides. And now you're seeing the signs and you're seeing the codes, but those are starting to fade and disappear in this space as they blindfold you and they say, you've earned your wings. Now it's time to fly. And this is where people are being stuck. This is where everyone's being stuck, not just the divine feminine, but that's what I'm referring to here based on she spread her wings and fly. Well, Amber has spread her wings and flew this week. And she has taught me to share this message in the most beautiful way because she's so brave at 36 years old to take on, you know, a lot of karmic clearing through her lifetime of growing up with some mental illness and being put since she was 19 years old after her second child, I believe it was. Actually, no, it might have been her first child. Either way, after a child, she had got some postpartum depression, and it ended up creating like some very severe depression that went into bipolar, and she ended up on medication for most of her entire rest of her life. Now, that is clearing karma and clearing divine mental templates of coming here to be able to clear part of the karma of the mental illness for this lifetime. Twin flame or not, we're all doing this. So, you know, she had this young life of kind of living reserved and within, being not confident. Then she goes into medication for the majority of the rest of her life. And then she's, you know, been diagnosed in the last couple months with cancer, and she passed away on Monday. She passed away on my daughter's birthday, October the 9th. And tomorrow is the funeral. So I will say, if anybody's been trying to reach me, and I've been out of town quite a bit because of this, and I have not been able to respond as frequent and as often as I had been because of this. But what Amber's teaching me is that what matters most is what's in front of us, and that we handle what we are handling in the moment, and to living that life in the moment. And so as I revisit this 20-year cycle, she's becoming another one of my greatest teachers, and such a beautiful thing. I'm actually going to speak at her funeral tomorrow, and I'm actually going to share this message with everyone. This is coming through from Amber, you know, and so I want to share this. So anyway, we're asked to face that fear. We're asked to go out on the limb. We're asked to jump off the limb. We're asked to take the leap of faith, and you will never know if you can fly if you don't leap. You know, I talk about cliff diving in this, where, you know, there's a place in Hawaii that I went to with a 50-foot jump. That's the end of the United States, supposedly. And people go there to jump off. And I watched people do that. And then it'd be a girl, she'd run to the edge, and she'd get ready to jump, and she'd come back. And she'd run to the edge, she'd get ready to jump, and she'd come back. It's the fear of the unknown, of what's ahead, is that we're most fearful of. And it's also one of the biggest things we're most fearful of within ourselves. It's not of our inadequacies as much as the possibility that we might just be successful. We might just be successful, but we're more afraid of success than we are of failing. I want to read you something on that. I had a client, I want to say one thing for a second. I had a client that I moved her session from tomorrow to today because of the funeral. And it aligned so beautifully that there was a lot of confirming and messages to my message here. And she had a piece that I'm going to share with you as an exercise at the end of this. And that it was just perfect and just beautiful. And really it had to do with, I had ran across a message of, I'm special, like a quote in a reading. She had read that in her class today. She's a teacher, and ended up that I was reading it to her, had she read it to her class this morning, and it opened up this doorway of being like, we all just want to be special. I can promise you, Amber really just wanted to be special in her life. And there probably was not enough times in her life. She never, after her children, she never was with a man. I know there was a lot of brokenheartedness there. I can look at this journey now, seeing that even though she had cancer, she really didn't die from the cancer. It's like she died from more of a broken heart and healing and mending that heart because of the love that she really sought after in her life. And so, so I want to share this with you, and you'll have to excuse the glare. This writing was so small, I'm gonna have to use my reading glasses. This light's gonna like reflect on this, so just bear with me for a minute with this because it might blind you. Might blind you, see? Okay, so our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are we not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. You were born to manifest the glory of God that is within you. It's not the same. It's not just some of us, it's every one of us. And it's as if we let our own light shine, that we unconditionally and unconsciously give others the permission to do the same. And as we liberate our own fear, our own presence automatically liberates us. And this is written by Mary Ann Williamson. And I received this from my client today. That again, how beautifully this fits into my message. So this is being brave. This is facing our fears. This is being like stepping into our own empowerment and jumping out of that tree and knowing that we can fly. So be bold. Don't die with your song still in you. Now I got to tell you, Amber did not die with her song still in her. She sung a song about 3 years ago, before she knew any of this, that was If I Die Young by the Perry Band. The band Perry, sorry, I believe that's what it is. And it's If I Die Young. And we just ran across this when I went home for over weekend before last, and to see her before she went into her unconscious state, and ran across this song, and it's very beautiful. And I will tell you, I come from a long line of singers. Clint Black is my cousin, distant cousin. I've never met him, but I come from, like, my grandmother, her last name is Black, where like all of the Black family is like all singers, and I've had other members of that family that I followed as a kid that were famous as well in other countries that I've met. But we have a long line. So Amber always sought after that side of the family, wanting to connect to her singing. Granted, she was not the greatest singer in the song, but it doesn't matter. She was brave enough to sing it and record it, and she was bold enough to step out and sing her song. And so I'm going to share that song with you, her singing it at the end of this video. So please stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. But this teaches us to speak our truth with assertiveness, and for us to know what our truth is. That's being bold. Another being bold is not having to be right, and being able to forgive, and being able to live a life of no regrets and make your amends. I have to tell you, when I went to visit Amber, my daughter wasn't able to go with me as she was supposed to. So we FaceTimed her, and Amber was pretty out of it. She was pretty tired. And we FaceTimed my daughter. And as soon as my daughter got on there, Amber really perked up. And she's like, I love you, Heather. I miss you, Heather. And then she said, if I've ever done anything to offend you, I'm sorry. I almost lost it. I mean, I did. I had tears. It was just this child, she meant it. She never did anything wrong, but she was making her amends. She didn't want to live a life of regrets, and her biggest thing was is she wanted to go to heaven. And it's if, you know, sweetie, you are in heaven, and she has crossed that bridge and headed back to the light. And she has taught me so much in the process. And so I just want to thank her. So I just want to can I just take 1 minute here just to like thank her for this? Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for following me. And thank you for being bold and brave in order to earn your own set of wings and fly. And with that being said, I want to say something. I'm going to add on here somewhere in this video, I don't know where yet, but my client that I was with today, I have to share this story with you. It's been a couple weeks or so ago. We finished with a session, and I said to her, you've gained your wings and you can fly now. You just don't know it. And so when later that night, she went to her mother's house, and her mother gave her a picture I've been permitted to share with you of her daughter with her wings on her back. Now I got to tell you, her mother's name is Kathy Jones. Kathy devoted her entire life to her children and giving and giving and giving to my client and her brother, and putting her own dreams aside and not doing what she needed to do for like fulfilling maybe her own journey, her own dream. She gave herself away, and she didn't know how to receive and be and live her own life with no regrets. Now, my client has felt this a little smothering in the aspect of not being able to have her own identity and do her own things. But stepping out and letting go of her daughter, she has now went into painting, and she painted this most beautiful picture I've been blessed to share with you. And this is in representation as the divine feminine. I keep seeing it as in we're all gaining our wings and we're spreading them and we're ready to fly. So I also want to commend my client's mother, Kathy. Congratulations for spreading your own wings and flying and sharing your love with your daughter and with all of us here so we can enjoy the beauty, because she always wanted to do this art class and never took the time to do it. And now she did. In her first painting she did was of her daughter gaining her wings to fly, which is really she gained her own wings to fly. How beautiful is that? Now, this also came through communication of them working on their bond. You know, we're trying to cut those umbilical cords and cut the bonds of where the parental aspects have blocked us from expanding our own wings to fly. So, you know, the thing I was saying is it's time to live a life of no regrets. It's time to step into your own empowerment. It's time, if you are on the fence about anything that you've wanted to do in life and you haven't done it yet, don't die with your song still in you. Do not die with your song still in you. It's time. It's time to fly. It's time to implement these things. It's time to put them into action. It's time to be the best version of you that you can be, and to step into the divinity that you came here to experience of your authentic self and share that with others, and be bold and be brave and be beautiful with it. And how do we be beautiful? Number 3. We be beautiful by seeing the true authentic self. And that is self-acceptance. And that is self-love. And that is courageously becoming confident within our own empowerment. And there's nothing more attractive than that. So if you've been smothering someone, or you've been, you know, seeking outside of yourself, like Marilyn Monroe says, if you are not the fruit at the top of the tree, and let that person come up to the top of the tree to pick you because you deserve somebody to come up after you, up that tree. See, you've went up the tree in enlightenment. You're already up in the tree. So now you need your beloved to come up in the tree after you. And how can they come after you if you don't then fly and you don't jump out of the tree? They got to come after you. So if you've been chasing and you've been seeking and everything outside of you, it's time to stop. It's already inside of you. Be courageous, be brave, be bold. Clarify what your truth is. Clarify what you came here to do. Ask yourself, ask your guides, who am I? What is my heart desire? And what did I come here to do? And that will attract in your beloved. And so I want to share with you an assignment on that was also my client shared with me that I want you to do. And how this also was so beautifully orchestrated is that I had done a video for Amber, for the family, and it took every picture from when she was a baby all the way up to her last one being in the hospital bed after around surgery. Not in the last couple months. I didn't put any pictures of that. That's been too heartfelt to see that. Don't want to remember that so much. But this assignment has to do with looking at the little child within yourself. The little girl if you're a girl, the little boy if you're a boy. And doing the little child meditation of taking a picture of your youth and asking yourself some questions, a very specific set of questions about that little child. And then taking side by side and a picture of you an adult and where you're at, and asking yourself another very specific set of questions. I'm going to share a few of those questions with you here, and I will post the series of questions in the link below, okay, or in the description below, I should say. So basically what this says is, and you have to bear again, this is another one that's going to be real small print. So what you do is you're going to take the two pictures and you're going to put them side by side, and you're to take 5 or 6 minutes of relaxation prior to. And she recommends here that you play the song Forever Young by Rod Stewart while you're relaxing. And then afterwards you spend 10 to 15 minutes looking at each picture, thinking about but not writing yet. And then once you do, then basically with each picture, 10 to 15 minutes with the one before, or I'm sorry, 10 to 15 minutes thinking and think about the questions, and then 10 to 15 minutes writing, answering the questions and journaling your thoughts, awarenesses. And then you close your eyes and relax. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few of the questions here. So as the little girl, you're going to be doing things like, who is the little girl in the picture? How do you feel today when you look at her? What compliments would you give to that little girl? What are her fears? What are her worries? What are her wonderings? What does her family love about her? What do her friends think about her? And then as the woman in the adult picture, what are some of the things she's good at? What are some of the fears, the worries, the wonderings? What does her family think and love about her? What does her friends think about her? So it's really the same set of questions close to. There is a little difference, but virtually the same. And what is it that she's done that she's proud of? So I say to you, what have you done that you're proud of? This is you seeing your authentic self and seeing yourself as beautiful. So I want to share with you also the words that I also got from my client from a song by Carrie Newcomer. That is, who have you been? And it says, who have you been and who are you now? Where has your heart traveled? Who have you loved and what have you lost? What have you bought and what was the cost? So that's what have you bought and what was the cost? I see in your eyes there's a whole life behind them. Deep and sweet, stormy and distant sometimes. And I find I have few stories. I'd like to tell you some of mine. So what have you known and how have you grown? What are your secrets, hopes, and your dreams? What made you cry and what made you pass you by? What trouble put the storms in your eyes? So tell me your tales, and I'll tell you mine. We'll tell of the things that we've kept or left behind. Lovers and friends and bittersweet ends, promises kept and broken. And we'll tell a few secrets if we dare. We'll be brave, each risk. We'll be near and dear. Who have you been and who are you now? Where has your heart traveled? Very, very profound. Who have you been? That is so powerful. And it doesn't really matter, like the video I said, it doesn't matter where you end, it's where you start that counts. My grandson said that. As you can see, I have a very highly connected, energetic family here. You know, my dear Amber here, she knew what was ahead of her. She knew 3 years ago when she sang the song, If I Die Young, her higher self knew what was ahead. Our life is in divine order, people. We have to trust the process. We have to get out of the way. We have to jump out of the tree. There's no coming down. It's time to spread your wings and fly to your greatest potential so you can have no regrets and not look back wishing you would have. The time is now. The time has come to spread your wings and fly high, because you are brave, you are beautiful, and you are bold. So it's time to act like the courageous, empowered, inner empowered being that you signed up for this, so everything is inside of you. It's in divine order. You just got to tap into your destiny and align with it. And the only way to do it is to be brave, be bold, be beautiful, and jump out of that tree. So please enjoy the video of Amber's If I Die Young. And I leave you with the thought of, once again, I challenge you to expand yourself. Don't stay the rosebud that dies tied up in a knot. Let your petals expand. Let your wings expand. And sing your love song. Okay? Thank you for watching, and please keep my family in your prayers this week as we go and pay our final respects with Amber tomorrow. And make sure to like, comment, share the shine. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.
You ready yet? Is this too loud? That too loud? Bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sing me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Lord, make me a rainbow, shine down on my mother. She know I'm safe with you, and she stands under my covers. So when life ain't always what you think it ought to be, no, ain't even gray, but she buries her baby. The sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses. the sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time, and I'll be wearing white when I come into your kingdom. I'm as green as the ring on my little cold finger. I've never known the loving of a man, but it sure felt nice when he was holding my hand. There's a boy here in town says he'll love me forever. Who would have thought forever could be severed by the sharp knife of a short life? Well, I've had just enough time. So put on your best, boys, and I'll wear my pearls. What I never did is done. A penny for my thoughts, so no, I'll sell them for $1. There was so much more after I'm a goner, and maybe then you hear the words I've been singing. Funny when you're dead how people start listening. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Uh-oh, the ballad of the dove, go with peace and love. Keep 'em in your pocket, save 'em for a time when we're really gonna need 'em. The sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time. So put on your best, boys, and I'll wear my pearls. I'm bad at the time.